a shopping list application. Try to follow what I'm trying to do because I'm going to have three different activities because at this point I have something in my mind. I don't have time to put a storyboard and let you know because you know that we are already running out of time. Okay, I'm going to create a new project. Any name? Spadley Company. So it depends. Minimum support what you try to give. It's up to you. Next, blank activity. I'm going to make the very first activity name into login activity because that makes sense. It's going to be the first one is going to be for a login purpose. Finish. My system takes some more time to load the entire project. I hope it is same for you also. When first time you launch your Android Studio, make sure this look at this bar, let it complete the Gradle and all the stuff. It actually compile your code and it will be ready for after indexing. You'll be okay to handle the code modification. Just wait for a few seconds, some more time, let it complete, then start working on it. In this example, I'm going to do everything from scratch. That's why I'm going to delete a lot of things. A lot of confusion it adds. It adds two different layout files. In fact, that is pretty helpful because it adds a floating menu and action bar, everything it adds. But we have to know how we can add it manually or programmatically, then we can decide whether this is useful or not. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just delete it. I'll maximize anyway. Where is that delete? I just deleted. I'm going to add it back. Remember layout file under XML. Layout XML file is available. Say login activity. The root tag is going to be linear layout. It is going to put for me. If it is linear or relative, we will decide as it goes. Now I am created from the scratch, and let me go back to our login activity. Change it to. I will do. I will do. Since you already know about this, so just I went ahead. Okay, so this part also we are going to remove. Manually we have to do it every time when you create a new project or a new activity. This is going to add a lot of unwanted stuff. We are going to get rid of it. We are going to keep a vanilla state. Okay, when everything is done, uh, of course the design manifest. This is putting a no action bar. I just really need action bar, so I'm just removing them. I'm trying to keep the app theme. Oh, let me put the theme. Let me try to remove it because app theme which is there on the top. Let me see whether it picks the application tag one, because every time I'm different theme, I'm not going to add across all the activities. So I just press run. I hope it is running. It's running. It run for a while. Let us create some more designs. Okay. Need to launch. Okay, I still have my action bar, so no problem. See that default state for Android manifest. I kept the Android theme on the top of application tag so that it will reflect across all the activities. Same theme will reflect. I removed the theme in the activity tag itself because if you really want to customize, you can give it. That's it. So we're fine now. Okay, let us create a design. Login activity is for a purpose to for a login. So let the user login. Okay. Keep edit text. Add a hint. Moreover, it is very important to add a orientation. Default orientation usually horizontal, so better add the orientation. I prefer this way of writing the code. I write in XML and see the preview. But there is one more way. Some developer feel pretty comfortable drag and drop. Of course, whatever way is suitable for you, you can choose it. So password. Let's see how it is looking like. Yeah, ugly. I want it to be slightly center. Before that, remember it's a software keyboard. Like as we test in that emulator, we are simply entering using our keyboard. But in a real phone, a software keyboard will pop up. So let us see. Let us reproduce the real situation. I'm just going to run it. Okay. So I can enter, but the software keyboard is the way you will, in a real time, you will enter it. It's not something your keyboard is going to be helpful. Remember, say username is admin, password is also admin. See that it is not a password field. Usually, password field is like secured one. So, is there any way we could make it? So let us see that way. So input type, I'm going to specify what kind of input type. Uh, Username could be text, just, and this is going to be text password. Number password, sometimes pin number would be it. So that case, the software keyboard only will show you the numbers. Okay, let me make it number password. We are not done yet, but anyway, there are certain design strategies you should follow. Okay, so we make some more design changes, but let it load up. Okay, that's fine. So let me bring the software keyboard. Sometimes your software keyboard may not come. There will be a bottom. There will be some sort of icon will be there in your emulator. You can bring it up for testing purpose. So instead of that, this is the way you will be entering in a real device. So if you see, the moment I change the focus to the password field, because I set as a password number type, it just became a number. So it just a secured one now. So you can specify number type. Remember, when I keep a focus on the very first edit text, I'll be given a software in the keyboard itself. There is an arrow. You don't need to tap and move your focus. Once you are done, click this one. It will change the focus to the subsequent text field, or sorry, edit text. Sometimes this may not appear in the previous version of devices. In that case, I hope it is IME option action next. This is actually sometime your software keyboard will not put the next button in your software. So if we keep the input option action next mean after the user done with that, he will click the next button, it will go to the focus to the second edit text. Here I am done with that, so IME options set action done. Okay, I'm completing it. So that software keyboard will disappear. So this is a recommended design strategy. I would want you to keep this kind of design flow because this is really helpful. And apart from that, I kept the hint as a edit text, but sometime user enter something. I don't know for which edit text for which purpose it is serving because both the hints disappeared. Which one is a, because when you have a multiple form, which field represent which one you may not be knowing. It is always better keep a text view on the top of it, letting them, okay, it is for username, it is for password. So let us add that. Enter is already there. So this will be much better. And I don't really like the content touching the extreme borders. So I'm going to add some sort of padding, total padding, so that it slightly come to, because we know that there are devices which is having curvy edges. So in order to prevent the content going off the screen, we slightly add some padding, try to bring it in this way. I think probably we can keep it into center. All the childs would be put into the center of your screen. That'll be better, much better, instead of keeping on the top. I purposely keep it into a center. And finally, a button. So we have our login button here. Sorry. Okay. Let me run the code. So we have a username password field and a login button ready, and it is there in the center. Whatever customization, I could still give you a kind of material design, try to give us some sort of design, but I don't have a time to add all those things. But anyway, when we get a time, we do it. But let's the design roll on. Okay, now you have your username. Here is a problem. The username field actually hides one more field. Like a password is now hidden by your software keyboard. Sometimes user may not be knowing about this button to move the focus. The user may have little difficult to, because they would have used to tap to shift between the subsequent edit text. Here the password is invisible. So is there any way I can slightly scroll up so that I can move the content, like slightly panning the particular view whenever a software keyboard arrives? So if I touch and move it, I couldn't move now because it is just a sticky content, because it is set into a center. So I'm going to add one more view. In such a case, if something hiding, your software keyboard hides your form, it is recommended to keep a scroll view. I'm going to add a scroll view on the top of all. I'm going to move all this blah 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 stuff, because this should be there for your root tag alone. This file declaration, and of course with match parent height, match parent, an entire linear layout. I'm going to bring it inside the scroll. Scroll view will add a scroller. If the content goes beyond to a window size, because form, we always know form may be quite longer. I cannot fit entire form into a single screen. So I may add some sort of a scroller so that the subsequent form could be scrolled and it can be seen out. But in this case, it's a small form, but still having a scroll view helpful whenever a software keyboard appears on the top of it. So remember, scroll view, there is a condition. If you are using a scroll view should only contain one single child. It cannot have multiple child. For a scroll view, only linear, I mean one child alone allowed. For in this case, linear layout. If you add any other layout, this is wrong, because a scroll view should only contain one single child. But that child can contain multiple, child, that's a different case. So, sorry, I'm just pressing instead of run button. These are all the design practices. So when you write your application, make sure you follow these standards. Your, your managers are actually, the way they added the weightage in your assessment, various areas they are seeing, including how you are naming your class files. Are you giving a relevant name? That's one weightage. So make sure don't add something like irrelevant names. Okay, something I lost it here, but anyway, it went on the top. So let us bring it to a specific position. The scroll view did not occupy. There is fill viewport set to true. The scroll let occupy the entire screen. Okay, now it is fine. Fill viewport means a scroller by default will not occupy the entire space. So any left space available, it will simply add the empty space. Right now I'm saying, okay, scroll view, you occupy entire space. In that, linear layout is going to be there. It's going to occupy the center position. Yeah, it's not. It will come now. One. Still not into the center. I add a scroll. You let me add a. Okay, 1 second. We will have to bring it on. Let's find some other hack.
It is coming.
Hmm?
It was because of keyboard. It went on.
You see, like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then it is expected behavior, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. That's good. Okay. Actually, this is a feature I wanted to add because whenever the keyboard appears, at least the content slightly pans up, so the visible content is there. That because of the scroll view. And of course, in this case, the user does not. Okay. Every content is there. He always maintain. So the scroll view helps to maintain some sort of panning whenever the soft keyword appears. So I would recommend whenever you try to add a form where the user is going to enter a lot of data, I would recommend keep a scroll view as a parent tag and then put it up. So let's see. Anyway, we are going to create a registration form. Okay, I want to put the registration button here. I really don't want to do a lot of things on the top here. So let us go back to our coding. Okay, let us create that screen first, then we can come back. I'm going to add new activity called registration and this blah blah I don't want. So just I'm getting rid of the unwanted code. So we have a registration activity which is just created. Let us add a longer form here now. Okay, I'm going to need first name, sorry, full name. Let us make it slightly bigger. First name, last name, address, male, female, gender. What else we I want to have some checkbox. Somebody give me an idea. What we'll keep it as a checkbox. I want to receive email or something like that. Whatever. So we'll slightly create a complex registration form. Since it is going to be a registration form, I'm going to make it as a scroll view to start with. Now it, it added that I think it did add all the stuff. So this scroll view is going to be the container for my linear layout. We don't want that. Okay. So let us add text view and the edit text. So text view and edit text. Let me add the orientation. This is very important. In vertical and keeping it to a center. Add some padding. Okay, still going up. Okay, fine. Slightly customize it. Okay, and also very important, input type. Uh, Text person name, because a name cannot have numbers, right? Sometimes user will enter some numbers, so we're trying to make input type set to text person name. IME option set to action next. Remember, you have to write all the stuff. Oh my god, I added to a text view. This is really bad. Remember, this text view I am not adding any ID because I don't see any requirement. So I'm just adding the ID for edit text alone, which I may use it for saving and all the stuff. So edit text, sorry. Username, let him create a username. It could be anything, just a text. And enter a password. And input type should be text password. Password created. What else? Let me see how it looks like. Okay, only 4 fields. Just trying to see some other form, what are all the thing it is. Okay, let's add a gender. Okay, I'm going to add a radio button now. Radio button, as you know, only one choice is allowed. So let us add a radio button. Okay, we will need a text view. Tell what it is. So gender. Okay, we have a male female radio button added, but we haven't grouped it yet. Let me run and then I'll explain what is the grouping. What else needed? Okay, let me add a text view. A checkbox. See the naming convention. If it is question doubtful, I'm adding just is. is male, is female, something like that. So it will help me to maintain some sort of, like, a kind of preferences value. uh, Business. Okay, so we have added what do you call, check boxes. Okay, I think we are done with that. It's just because we need to save them, it is always going to add a lot of other headache afterwards. Let me put a button. Okay, we have a save button now. Okay, this guy we want to bring it to the center. Okay, oh, let it be. I don't know whether it is center needed. So we are done with the registration form. We have to put them into work, but at least we have done up to. So enter password. I want to dismiss the software keyboard. So password, up to that the user does not enter. You simply tap. So username, password. In this case, action, done. Because the checkboxes or other thing would require tapping to select. At the end, we will migrate every hint or text into a strings file. So at this point, I just hard coded the values, but this is not the way we of course require. Let us connect the login activity and the registration activity. Okay, login. Let us make it only when the user registers and create a username and password, the login should work. Without having the registration done, we should not let the user to log in. This is our requirement first. So let's see how we can do it. So there should be a button or anything which takes the user to a registration screen. I'm going to modify this one. I really want this area because it is wasted for a long time. I'm going to put a registration link over here. By doing it, for every new activity which was created, you may be seeing this particular code by default added. On create options menu, on option items selected. Actually, this is a predefined menu system which is already been added in your Hello World application. It is called option menu because the name itself. Option menu means choice. It may not be visible all the time. Whenever the user wish to press the button, you can display it. A nice area would be that action bar. By clicking that, the setting something appears. So I'm going to move that thing. If it is one single button, I can simply directly display that. If it is multiple, then I can hide it, put a 3 dot by clicking it the rest of the time. Okay, before that, what is this? Inflation. Menu inflator, all the blah. Okay, first thing, as we understand, an activity was the design, the view was created by an XML file. This is how we are doing, right? We create an XML file, that design is rendered in your activity. This is what we've been doing. Sometime I may want to load one more XML file on the top of existing XML. See? Adding a view on the top of another view. A view which is already there. Because of set content view, the view was added. But I want to inflate. Inflation view just it doesn't stick each other on the top. It's just floating. So in that case, I want to add one more XML file and I want to display over there. Such scenarios are called layout inflation. Adding a layout on the top of another layout is called layout inflation. These scenarios may come, especially this menu itself has been implemented in that way. I'm going to create a menu system in a separate XML file, the design, and I'm going to add or inflate. That's the reason. It is actually the get menu inflator is a class, is a method, maybe it is retrieving some object. Inflate, I'm giving another XML file. R.menu and menu login tells me go to a resource folder R. There will be a folder called menu, and in that there is going to be an XML. That XML file is going to be loaded, and you need to, because there will be a instance of a menu which is locally available in your activity, you just pass it. So when you call this line, the particular XML will be inflated on your activity. See, in this case, which is already doing, see this settings, it is a different XML file. Where it is actually? It is there inside a folder called menu and menu login. This particular design was loaded on one of an existing XML. So when you have a scenario where you want to inflate another XML on the top of existing XML, such scenarios are called layout inflation. In this case, it is for a menu. That's why it is menu inflation. Why they kept it? Maybe it is for maintaining modularity. Sometimes the same menu structure will repeat across all your different activities. You can simply follow this way. So here, if you notice, it contains an item. If you notice that only one item exists, which is settings. That's why it is just showing settings. Shows action never. Here, it's quite interesting one. If I put always, there are a couple of constants available. If room with the text collapse or something like that, I'm going to put always. Let's see what is happening. Before it reloads, let us see any other one. If room also we will test it, but let us first have this one. There won't be any preview to see it because it's a kind of a inflated layout. We cannot see how it look like. Only after running the code you can identify how it is going to appear. You see that now the settings is appearing as an action. It's always visible. If room, there was another choice. It is nothing but you may have different items, multiple items. Any space available, it will display. Rest of the thing will be automatically put into a list. So that word makes sense. Since I have only one, I can directly display it. So here I am going to add a registration. I'm going to change it. Okay, let keep the settings also. We'll add one more thing. Action. This is for order. You can give any order like 100, 101 for appearing, maintaining that hierarchy. Just could be any number because it kind of also serves as an ID. So action register, I'm going to make it as a register. I'm going to make this as a always, the second one if room. So we have added a register button and this one. So let's see how this will appear. So while it loads, Remember, when you comment this line, if you don't add this line, if you comment it or if you remove this line, your action bar will not have any menu system because you are not inflating it. So if you comment it, that the particular three dot will disappear, nothing will be there. So corresponding, whenever the menu item gets pressed, this is the callback. Which menu item gets clicked? It will give you a callback over here. Settings click, get item ID settings. Settings you can pass any intent. Or in this case, what we added is a register. Let's see how it is looking like. Okay, there is a room, that's why these things are appearing. Let me make it to okay, let's meanwhile let it load. We will go back to login activity. Else if return true blah blah, what we can do, just keep it, we don't want id equal r dot id dot action register. So when the user opt for registering, I'm going to call the intent, which we already know. This registration activity dot class start activity or start activity for result, we yet to know, but by default let me start with the start activity for result. Say some result code to start with. So when the user click on register, you should be able to go to the next activity. So if you notice that the register appears, the settings went inside the view hierarchy. So it's up to you, you can design, you play around with the various constants, whatever available. I would see that action bar is quite helpful and maintains a major navigation part on that particular area. So rest of the place available for your content. Okay, I haven't updated the code, so let me run it. Meanwhile, let us customize few more areas. This title, I would like to display something else. So time. Okay. Get the instance of action bar. Action bar is already available in your application, I mean your activity. But if you notice, there is two action bar instance. I mean what we are using is a support version because this action bar is going to be there for pre-release device, honeycomb devices. There also it is added. So it is through the support library we are going to use. Whereas this one will only work if you are maintaining the minimum support after 3.0. But we have to support for older device also, so make sure you import this one. So okay, I hope it is running now. When I click register, it takes me to the second action bar missing, but okay, anyway we'll add it. So in this case, since it is a scroll view, things will automatically move, but anyway it is a pretty small content. And here is the error. We should only allow, we have to group it. We haven't grouped them because only one choice is allowed, but whereas this is multiple choice, no problem. So we have to slightly adjust this area to make it working. Before that, action bar, let me implement get support action bar. This will give you an instance of your current activity action bar. Action bar set title, you can add a title, say login. So this will make sure instead of this text you will see login. So you can change the title. So somehow we have played around our action bar. So this will help you to redefine your title of an action bar. Okay, registration activity would need some sort of patch up seems to be. Let us see that what exactly went wrong. It's fine. On create option menu which was not there, I'm just adding them back. On option item select. So both the thing I have implemented. We need a menu for it if at all required. Registration activity does not display the action bar. Why? Let's find out. Okay, now you see the title has got changed to login. Again, just rewrote. Let's see. I should be able to see the action bar. If action bar doesn't appear, we have only one choice. Going to manifest, add the theme. But let's wait. Oh, here because of this reason. Oh my God. So this one removes the action bar. I just remove the whole stuff, so it will make sure the action bar appears over there. I have to rerun it. In the registration activity, there are two chances. The user will completely fill the form and hit login or save, or sometimes the user will just skip the form and go back. So we have to understand two scenarios where we can handle the actions. So let me rerun it. Hope it is running. Too many times seems to have clicked the login but sorry install button, so just form the stack. It's not appearing. Why? Okay, let me put back theme. So I'm just going to put them back. clicking register. I have a action bar along with that. So the form is ready. Okay. See, if you see now, I can slightly scroll. So whenever software keyboard is available, I can scroll it quite easily. So whenever the active content area shrinkens, automatically the scroll view will come. Let the user swipe and see the additional content. So that's the reason we added the scroll view, because we cannot make sure every form fit into a available screen. There are number of screens, number of form factors. So whenever you design a form, make sure you wrap it inside a scroll view. Okay, now we need to group this radio button, and here I would like to add a back button. Without registering, the user can still go back, or when the user click on save button, you can go back. So two scenarios possible. Let us add them. First, let us group it. Registration activity. Where is the radio button? Radio button should be wrapped inside a layout called radio group. It should be within the radio group. Tag. Then only it will work as a group. Radio group is similar to a linear layout because it also has a orientation. So I'm going to specify them, and I'm going to move the radio buttons inside the radio. So let us verify. Along with that, I would also like to add a menu system. Oh, not I don't think we need a menu here, but maybe back button. Let me implement the action bar. Very careful while you create an instance of an action bar. You should always make sure the support package imported. Set home as up enabled. I'll let you know what is that. Before that, we'll verify whether our radio button is grouped or not. Now if you see, the radio button is grouped, it is shifting between one choice. It is always maintaining one single choice because it is wrapped inside a radio group. Now I'm not pretty clear about these both the two. Set home button enabled. Okay, I'm not pretty sure about these two buttons, which one, but I'll run the code. Let's see which was required. What I'm trying to add here is a small back button. In the action bar itself, we can add a small back button, so by clicking it, the user can go back. Not necessary to depend on this back button. Remember, most of the app users, those user maybe from iPhone user has come back to Android. He may not be knowing there is a back button exists. He may want everything on screen. So it is recommended to keep a back button if you are going from one activity to another activity back. So it is better to maintain the back button. So let me see whether it is appearing first. Okay. Now if you notice, there is a back button has come. So when the user click on this, he can simply go back. So we added a further navigation, but it's not working. We'll make it work. Now if you notice, the application getting into a shape. Like, okay, so this is how a professional application is going to be developed. So now when the user go back, actually anything you display inside the action bar, it's all option menus. What whatever you are trying to display in action bar is or navigations or option menus. If it is appears on the right or if it is appears on the left. But I'm not sure which one has made that one, but keep it both because this will put the back button enabled. Okay, whenever the user press on the back button, I want to finish the activity, take the user back to the previous activity. So in this case, return statement should be the last one to appear. Hope you know that. So I'm just going to keep the return at the end. If get item ID equal android dot r dot id dot home. Remember, this is a global constant. This time I'm accessing home button ID because I don't know what is the ID of home button. It is a global constant. That constant should be prefixed by android.r. If it is just r.id, mean it's the constant within your application. Mean whatever ID you create in Excel. But this home, because I enabled the home button here, I don't know which ID of it. So you can access that android.r.id. I know home button it will come. So here I'm going to call finish. So back button clicks, it will just finish. So we will test them as well. Okay, what else we need to do? We may have to have a login screen. I mean, after the user successfully logs in, we will have to take the user to another activity. That screen we have to create. I'm going to name that as a main activity. New. It's a main activity now. So we have a register button. Let the user click on back, just disappears. So register and the back. So pretty organized at this point. We have a login button and the registration button. Even though it doesn't save any content, at least we are into a right track. So we added a registration screen. Next, assuming if the username password is correct, the user going to press and the user is going to go back to the another activity where he can enter the shopping list items. So let us create that screen. Hope you now understand. I am trying to create all the required screen first before adding any logic. So at this point, what I am trying to do is a UI or maybe user experience creation. UX. UX mean in this case how we are going to give you present your entire application along with the navigation. It may also have some sort of idea about the whole application, how the experience is going to give, going to be. So it's going to be everything through the action bar. Action bar seems to be maintaining the main menu system. Below to that there is going to be the content. So our design is somehow getting into a kind of a experience so that user will understand. Okay, whatever this developer creates, me it will be in this way only. In fact, the design is recommended by Android. What I am trying to create here is pure Android experience. I am trying to have because I haven't changed the colors. I did not modify anything. What my Android gives me an option, same thing I'm using. So what we are trying to do here is pure Android experience. Okay, let me clean this code. This all blah blah I don't want. for a change. Okay, so the main activity is created set content view r dot id dot main, sorry, layout dot main. So the third activity has been created. Verify manifest because it is adding some blah blah stuff. Because we don't want the no action bar to appear, we want with action bar. So login activity, as soon as the user click on login button, we want to take the user to okay, just a one single button, right? We will just implement a method public void on login user defined method should have a view instance. Whenever it is called, it's going to call new main activity dot class start. So when the user click on login button, it is going to take me to the main activity. Main activity here, we have to create a couple of things. Sorry. What I tried to add on the top, this one, item quantity, click add, the item will appear just below to that. So What I'm trying to add, let me add couple of. Under that there is going to be list view, match parent, match parent, ID is going to be below. Okay, we haven't added ID. So this is a design I'm trying to create. You will enter an item and specify the quantity and click add. The item will immediately will get added into the item list. Of course it's going to go, but at least this is how the design is going to be. So let us modify in the coding. In the main activity, let me implement the back button, action bar, um, I'm just going to give a close button so that the application will get closed. On create option menu implemented on options item select. So if item get item ID equal to Android on r dot id home finish. Okay, we have to also make sure whenever the user successfully logs in, the login button disappears, so login view disappears. So and main activity action bar set title shopping list. We have customized a lot now. Let me run the code. I'll show you the overview how the application is going to be. Let it run. The next part would be we have to save them, make it work, add some code logic. So either the user can go for registration. Of course, he has to go first time. I can come back, or either, and when the user click on login, he can go to the main screen. Of course, the list is empty because no contents. We had to add the contents. So user will enter the content and the quantity. Sorry, and click add. The moment add, this thing will get added into a list. So this part we have to add. But anyway, I added a back button to close the application. Application will totally get closed because login screen will not appear once the user logs in. Okay, so we have somehow created a user experience for our application. How I am going to handle the navigation? I have a login screen. I also have a registration screen. If the login or username and passwords authentication goes successful, the user will go and see the login screen and go ahead. So this is phase 1. I'm going to proceed with the list view. Then probably I'll come back how to add the registration, how I can save the registration form. But before that I'll introduce, because let us finish this screen, then we can go back how to put the registration form into working, because there are a lot of forms are there. So we'll first complete this list view and then we'll go back to that. As far as your application activities, it has 3 different activities. See the naming convention. Based on the naming convention, it has different purpose. And the manifest has all the references, and we have created the activity file, sorry, XML file from the scratch. Remember, I just cleaned away, and it has the action bar navigation, action bar name has been customized, and everything has been in place at this point. So I'm going to go back to main activity. Here the list view is there. So I have 2 edit text, 1 add button and 1 list view. I'm going to initialize everything. What's the name I gave? Item. Seems we haven't given an ID. So button has ID already. I think, what is that? Sorry. Quantity. And there is a button. So whenever the button gets clicked, we'll implement in this way. So whenever the button gets clicked, and item set on click. So set this. So we have everything on place. When the button gets clicked, I'm going to populate the list view. Oh, more importantly, the list view. We have everything initialized at this point. List view. List view is also a layout inflator. I have to give some more clarity on that. We already know about the menu inflator because we create a menu system in a different XML loaded. List view is also going to be a kind of inflated layer, because by default list view cannot have a static values, because list view would require an array or array list or something which is in the same, some sort of data set which could be displayed. So for that, it needs a separate view created, a design created for it, because if I have a student name and its mark appear below to that, this icon appear right to that particular first name and last name, I may have to create a separate design for my list view, how it is going to look like. So I need to write a separate XML file, and I would need a data set because multiple countries. Here at this point, I either need an array or array list. I hope you know array and array list. Difference between what is between array and the array list. What is array list? Okay, but at this point, we just need a kind of multiplier. That's all. Like a subscripted value which is should be an array or should be an array. But I prefer array list because of the indexing capability. Like I can easily go to a specific instance, modify, add, whatever. But a normal array may not have it. You need to define the size of an array, then you put the content. That's it. One step modifying may not be possible. So here, I would need one more layout to be created to populate the list items. And of course, in our requirement, we have a item name and the quantity. So we have to display both the two. So I'm going to use a separate layout. There I'm going to put two text fields. One is for item name, another one is for item quantity. And I'm going to need an array or array list. Second. The third, I would need a third-party class, Android SDK class, which could combine the array list and the layout what I just did. A design and the data set. Both has to be mixed in such a way a view can be created. Android has a built-in classes for that. Those classes are called adapters. So an adapter, in terms of list view, will combine your data set and the view. So both the things combined, if you create an object, that object is actually required for the display. I'll write it, just try to follow. Before that, we have to create an XML to display or what you call item name and quantity. So let me create a layout first. Okay, let me create a simple adapter first, a built-in adapters, then we can think about customizing it. Whenever add button is clicked, okay, let me create an array list, empty array list. Array list of string items. So this is going to hold all my items whatever I enter. Okay. To make it simplify, I'm just going to hold only one single item name alone for testing. Then I'll add the item quantity also. Okay, here. Okay, I need a global access for my edit text. I'm going to make them global. I made it declared global because I need access outside of onCreate method. If item name gets text to string equals not, we don't want to enter the empty values. Items dot add dot add will add an entry at the end of your array list. Whatever the user has entered, when you hit add button, it will add the particular entry to your array list. Now time to define the adapter. I'm going back to array, on create. There is an adapter called array adapter. Remember, adapter is a very generic one. For example, base adapter. You can customize however way you want, but there are already some built-in or template-based adapter already available. Array adapter will only accept values from array or array list. So this one I am going to implement. It requires 3 arguments. Okay. First one being context, no problem, we have. Second one, the resource. This is where you need to inflate your different layout file. But this time I'm going to use existing Android template. You may be wondering where this particular file existing, but I am accessing from Android library because Android has a built-in templates, lot of templates available. One of the template for list view, they have Android, they specified in the path android.r.layout. You may have lot of templates, lot of things are there, but not everything will work for list view. List view, the simplest item 1 or 2, that's the only one will work. So this is the template I'm going to inflate, and the data which I'm having called items, which I'm going to repeat inside. Finally, item list view set adapter whenever item is added, we need to create it global, refresh it, notify the dot change. Pay attention to the example here. The array adapter is a built-in adapter. I already told you adapters mean it can combine an array list or data set and the design. 2 things it can combine. Of course it is doing it. The argument, it takes 3 arguments, first being the context, the second being the design template XML, the third being the data, array list. Items mean array list we just created. And we are telling attach this adapter to this list view. But by default, I am calling it in onCreate. If you notice, I am calling in onCreate. The items will have nothing because items for empty arrays. No values. The values will get added only when the user click click, for example, button, add button. He will enter the item name. When he clicks the button, I'm just making sure it is not empty. Then add one entry to the items array list. As soon as array list values changed, because new item has got added, I'm notifying the adapter, hey, refresh yourself because the items refresh. So this notified data set change will simply refresh your adapter, make sure it also carries the item which got added. If I run, you may get the point. Okay, so let us go back to the login screen, sorry, the shopping list screen. So I'm going to enter an item. When I click add, the item has got added. I think we should empty it as soon as the item is entered, added. So let me change it. But I'm not taking it anyway. You notice that a new item gets added, and of course it is clickable as well. So I can add anything. So as many as items. See, it has a built-in scroller. A list view will repeat itself with the depending on the data set, whatever values are changing. It will add a composite entries. It means one text view got repeated multiple times. The text view with a different data. So I think we can slightly make it much better. As soon as the add is clicked, we will empty these items. So item name set text set to end. Item quantity also set text. This will be much better. That form is emptied as soon as the entry get added. The design is pretty simple and the idea looks quite straightforward here. But the disadvantage of a array adapter. In two lines it just created, in fact creating an adapter is likely a difficult task. But it created. But the problem here is it can display only one value. And it is not customizable. Because I am using built-in template of Android what it provides. Sometimes I want to display item name here, item quantity. I want to display two countries. But in this case, I only display only one because there is no permission for it. It only accepted one single array list. Maybe I may need to display the quantity also. That's a second scenario, disadvantage. This particular array adapter will not be much of helpful if you want to display some complex data type. So whatever. Anyway, quantity I'm not checking because I know quite obviously because we cannot take that time. I may even go ahead customize my requirements. Sometimes I want to put an image icon. I may customize to any level by writing my own adapter, customizing the existing. So that also we are going to see. But before that, there are one more template. Right now I use array adapter as an example. There is one more adapter called simple adapter, which will, of course, will do the job. I mean, as our requirement, I won't display the quantity output. But to make it happen, I need to create my own layout. I cannot use the existing android.r.layout simple list or something like this. I cannot use that. And it also does not have option to refresh itself. So we need to slightly change the code in order to suit our requirement. Because our requirement here is and one item and quantity both has to be displayed over here. And going further, I want to have add, edit, delete option also added to this. Because right now only we give an option to add content. I want to give option to delete. I want to give an option to edit. Maybe editing quantity alone will allow. We won't allow the item name to be something we can make it. But at least the whole form or the whole list view should have the thread, like create, update, thread, delete. We have to make it thread or through or whatever. So that feature we have to give because going ahead, we are going to integrate this thing into a database. We are going to save them into a database. Right now it is not saved. So if I go back, assuming if I kill the activity and again open it, I will have empty because I will have the empty because they are not saving it anything. So we have to save them. So we have to do a lot of addition to this area. I'll first create the simple adapter. I'll let you know how it works. Then you can go ahead creating this exercise. Then tomorrow we will continue further. Inside I would like to add a picture option also. I would like to add a picture variety. So I'm going to extend it because one of your hands-on also talks about how to create image gallery. We'll add that part also along with this. And moreover, we have to make a login and registration button. By going through, we almost come to a conclusion how an activity like that how it works by creating this activity. Okay, I don't want to overload you guys, but anyway, I'll complete with the simple adapter concept. Then you can proceed for your hands-on. Tomorrow we'll proceed on the rest of the part. SQLite and adding the preferences of persisting the data and introduction to the service. Tomorrow you will see that. Day after tomorrow, the rest of the concept, and you will have your project requirements. Chances are there one more day may get extended. If that is approved, I will be adding that for theory session only. So the next 4 or 5, 2 or 3 days, the theory session will go on. And with whatever remaining days, we will see how you are going to develop an application by having everything. Let me see, before it comes, let me try to add the simple adapter. But it will definitely require some sort of code changes.